Welcome into game number 2 of a long set of games today here from the 2016 NACA National Championship Tournament, Fort Bluff Camp in Dayton, Tennessee. The Rock and Grace getting set to play here in a couple of pool play games. This isn't best of 3, it's just 2 individual games of 25 that count separately. The Rock out of Gainesville, Florida, coached by Stephanie Wyatt. They are the defending Division I national champions from this exact tournament. And on the other side of the floor, we have Grace Christian Academy out of Fayetteville, Georgia. The Eagles coached by Shaughnessy Jones. So the Eagles will be in those red uniforms on the left side, the Rock in the gray uniforms to the right. And we're just about set to get things underway as soon as they get all the lineups and all that good stuff figured out.
As always, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is how many years we've been doing this together? Not
Quite a few.
NACA is
a long time. Well, the two of us have been here for, well, it's been over 5 years now, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
6 or 7 or something? I don't know. It all runs together for me after a while. So right off the bat, there is a kill on the far side for the Rock. That is Maddie Fletcher, senior for the Lions. And Maddie will get set to serve here. A 1-0 lead for the Rock.
So right now we're just really hoping, working to get into our groove. But this is the second game of the tournament.
We're still working out some kinks, that's for sure. So a 1-1 tie here as into the lineup for Grace. There's a 19 that I don't have. So.
Hey, and that's a big score here to get up on the board for Grace against this powerhouse school, Rock. Last year's champion, they really need no introduction to NACA sports fans.
Yeah, they were loaded last year, and they are again this year as Nicole Rivera gets the kill there. And back to serve for the Rock is Jessica Conley, and the junior will end up with an ace. Make that Cilian Concepcion. Concepcion serving here for the Rock. Back in the middle of the floor. That's sent across. Now up front. Bumped over by Rivera. And sent over by Olivia Eccles. Out front, and that is hammered down on the kill from the lefty, Nicole Rivera. And a 4-1 lead for the Rock.
Textbook set and kill for the Rock.
Yeah, this team has been together for a little while now, and as we mentioned, the champions from last year, it's just loaded. And there's another kill on the near side by Kariyama Rodriguez, and a 5-1 lead. By the way, the Rock comes into this game at 26-4 on the year out of Gainesville, Florida. They won the Gatortown Classic earlier this year. This is their 3rd year here at the national tournament. And there's another kill by Rivera on the other side of the floor, and it's 6-1. Well, when you have multiple players at 6 feet or taller, it becomes extremely difficult for the other side because not everyone has that kind of size. Not only to hit against them because of their blocking ability, but trying to block them in return makes things extremely difficult. 7-1 lead here for the Rock.
And if you're tuning into the broadcast and you know a family member or friend that would like to check out, their favorite player, be sure to share the link on YouTube or share it on Facebook, Twitter. Give them a call, email it. Let them know it's so easy to tune in from any device. We can even encourage you, if you have a smart TV, do a quick search for these two teams, NACA Sports, and you can watch it on your big 65-inch and kick back and have your morning cup of coffee. We've been going here, had a nice intro from Dave Secura, the executive director, opened with prayer for the tournament. the biggest tournament to date.
It's huge this year. I mean, it's gigantic. I was looking at the list of teams. There's pool play. They've had to stretch pool play across 2 full days now because there's so many teams and trying to get everyone games. A 9-1 lead here for the Rock. A couple of kills up front, one by Salgado and the other one by Rodriguez, and now an ace makes it 10-1. Well, it is. This tournament continues to grow. It gets bigger every year. And I mean, we're playing games at 8, 9, 10 different facilities. It's not just here at the camp. And there's another kill on the far side by Rivera. There are games all over the place, all over Dayton.
10 different venues, gymnasiums in the surrounding area that is filled playing volleyball.
Yep.
And that is running concurrently with one of the biggest boys soccer tournaments to date here at the camp. And they're playing all over. Just what a, amazing event.
It's incredible. 12-1 the lead now for the Rock. By the way, it's so big, this volleyball tournament is, that even rooms that aren't used usually for, putting teams in are used. There's a room right behind us here that is a referee room that has air mattresses and everything in it because just trying to find room for all these teams to stay here. Now, of course, Dayton has added a couple of hotels in town over the last few years, which helps out with some of that. This hit out of bounds. It's now a 14-1 lead for the Rock. But still trying to find, just literally finding room for everybody to stay here can be a problem. And a timeout here to Grace. 14-1 is the lead for the Rock. It's we were talking about going all over town here, and last time I was here, you gave me a pretty good recommendation on a place to eat. But if you ever come up here with the teams, right down there through Dayton, it's really well laid out. I mean, there's basically one main road through town. Everything's on it. You got hotels out there, restaurants. It's a nice setup. It's only about 10, 15 minutes from the camp up here. It really is a nice place. You would think, kind of where it's located in Tennessee, more or less in the middle of nowhere, then it would be kind of a rough type of setup. But it's really nice.
As a local, I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind. Dayton, we're just north in Ray County, just north of Chattanooga. The home of the world's most famous trial, the Scopes trial.
Yep, I've been there. That was very interesting.
William Jennings Bryant and Clarence Darrow. There's actually one of our event sponsors is a local college, Bryan College, that with the namesake of William Jennings Bryan.
Speaking of that, as the Eagles play it here out of the timeout, trying to get a side out here to get a serve back. And there's another kill on the near side by Rodriguez, making it 15-1. But speaking of that, a number of years ago, I was here we were streaming the baseball tournament over at Bryan College. And a guy by the name of Javier Baez was playing in that tournament, who is now turned into a superstar this year with the Cubs, playing in the World Series. The one bright spot through a couple of rough games for the Cubs earlier this year. And I saw him play here not that long ago. There's a big list of names like that have played here. But a 16-2 lead now for the Rock. His back to serve will be Sharon Salgado, the 6-foot junior.
In so many sports, from cross country, golf, baseball, as you mentioned, girls soccer, I know I'm missing so many, football, and none of the least of which is basketball for the NACA. NACA.
Wow. There's a strong kill by Rivera, and it took down a banner.
Took down the banner.
17-2.
I don't know if that might change their luck a little bit.
It's a soccer banner. I don't think if it was a volleyball one, maybe I'd be a little bit concerned, but I think they'll be fine.
Speaking of big name players, and that basketball tournament came to mind last year. Azubuike.
Yeah, that's right.
Forgive me for not remembering his team. Did he play with Our Savior or no? Well, just forgive me.
Yeah, I remember the name now.
Too good, but Azubuike is absolutely. It wasn't 1 week, I believe, maybe 2 weeks, John. I saw him playing in the McDonald's All-American.
Yeah, All-American.
Game. So many, with the girls' games, we had so many players that were from Maryland that were in that game as well. So it's just.
Yeah, it's an impressive list, and if you've ever been here or you come here in the future, Grace will serve it down 19-3 now. If you come here in the future, there's a good block up front. Underneath where we're at, kind of the overhang here in the balcony, there is a wall of pictures of all of the athletes that have gone on to play college sports that have played here. And it's an impressive list and an ever-growing list. So the serve by Nicole Rivera is an ace. Make it now 21-3, the lead for the Rock.
So much history here at NACA Sports. It's really humbling just to be part of it.
Yeah, and I myself played here a while ago. We won't say exactly how long ago. Let's just say it was a while. Now there's another ace. 22-3 is the lead for the Rock. And I've known a lot of people through the years that have played at this tournament.
We talk about the competition and the caliber of athletes that come here to compete for some of the best competition in the world. But really, what it's all about, what it comes down to, is, that competition is rivaled and surpassed by the powerful ministry here at the camp. So many great speakers that come in. I believe this year will be Ben Carson's spiritual advisor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I gave that title correctly, but that's he's going to be a great speaker. Former athlete, he travels the nation, speaks to young people about the message of Christ. So he'll be here. Always big name speakers here.
Yep. 25-3. The Rock takes game one. Let's take a brief break. We'll come back. We'll get game two started. By the way, this is not best of three. This is just two individual games to 25. This is pool play, and then these teams will be seeded into different divisions later on. But we'll take a break. We'll come back with more in just a moment. You're watching the 2016 NACA National Championship Tournament. Back here for set number 2. Just remember, not best of 3 situation, 2 individual games to 25. So to start set number 2 here, Nicole Rivera to serve. And there is an ace and a 1-0 lead for the Rock.
So as I mentioned over the break, we certainly recognize this young lady's name from the 2015 tournament. What an amazing competitor.
Yep, she's back for her senior year. A 2-0 lead here for the Rock. And 5 seniors on this Lions team, at least on the A-list team. There is a JV team here this year. And a 3-0 lead here for the Rock off the kill from Grace Doherty. And once again, Nicole Rivera to serve. It's played off the ceiling, tracked down near side, tipped across out of bounds. And it is a 4-0 lead. Again, the Rock on the left side, Grace on the right side here this morning. This is pool play, and then these teams will be reseeded later on into Divisions 1 through 4. The Rock will be safely in Division 1, I do believe, as that returned back up close to the net, and Rodriguez hammers it back down in a 5-0 lead.
Looks like they're in a very advantageous part of their rotation right now. Really.
Yeah, and they went ahead and sat Sharon Salgado to start this game too, and there's a block up front off of the hit by Kelly Foreman. Make it a 6-0 lead. Serve here, played now up front, back in the middle. That's actually a really nice hit by Olivia Eccles, the 5'7" senior. She'll get a kill there and a 6-1 lead for the Rock. Served by Sarah Brock is out of bounds. Service error gives it back to the Rock as they lead at 7-1. Kariama Rodriguez, junior to serve here for the Lions. And it is an ace and an 8-1 lead. So the 8-1 lead leads to a timeout for Grace. We'll take one as well. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the NACA National Championship Tournament. The lead for the Rock as Rodriguez serves it up. Now Grace will play it back in the near side. That deflected up front. And good dig along that back line by Amaris Jernigan. Now far side, and the kill there for Celian Concepcion and a 9-1 lead for the Rock. Rodriguez to serve again here and returned on one hit, actually quite nicely too by Sarah Brock. Played back in the middle of the floor, and that hit under the net. So now a 10-1 lead for the Lions. Once again, Rodriguez will get set to serve. And nice save on the far side, and then set back off the ceiling. Actually, really good hustle by Anna Montgomery to try to get there, and that's now an 11-1 Lions lead. And this ricochets off the ceiling for an ace, making it now 12-1. Rodriguez serve here, and there's another ace. Boy, that's such a difficult serve to return. The speed, the spin, the way it's coming across the net. 13-1 the lead now for the Rock. And a floater serve here, returned up front. Good dig in the middle of the floor by Brock, and then that's hit into the net. So 14-1 the lead now for the Rock. And an ace served up by Rodriguez, making it 15-1. And a short floater serve return back up front, and too close to the net, and right there is Concepcion for the kill. Now a 16-1 lead. Rodriguez with a floater, now middle of the floor, and across there by Foreman. Now back line, and hit from Rodriguez from that back row makes it 17-1. And that's served out of bounds. Service there gives it back over to Grace. 17-2 is the lead for the Rock.
So just to kind of reiterate to our viewers, today is pool play. This may seem like a mismatch matchup, but that's the purpose of it is.
Right.
On the final day,
Yep.
they're going to fall into their appropriate classifications and divisions. So,
And typically what this does is when you go pool play and there's, let's say, 4 teams in a pool, there's 4 divisions in this tournament. So the idea is the teams that are in pool play, you kind of have some idea that they're 1 through 4. So, but you're playing that pool play to determine if it's first, second, third. So, for instance, you don't throw 4, teams that you think will be Division I all into the same pool. You're trying to do pool play with teams from 1, 2, 3, and 4 in it. So that's why you get some of the mismatches. But like you said, that's on purpose because you're just trying to solidify the fact that what you thought was going to happen is actually happening. And sometimes that's wrong, but more times than not, it turns out to be fairly accurate when you actually get done with pool play. 21-2 is the lead here for the Rock.
not only that, what an opportunity to play against
Sure.
a team such as the Rock. For Grace can come back and say, hey, if we can play with them, we can play with anybody in this tournament. And they kind of get a good measuring stick of where they're at. Then they can come back and build that confidence and be strong. So if you're tuning in as a Grace fan, please take this score with a grain of salt.
Yeah, well, for sure. And I'll tell you this much, too. It's 21-3, but Grace has done their share of doing some nice things in this match. And it's so difficult with the opponent that they're matched up with. But, you can build from this a little bit. Chance to play against literally the best team in the country last year, at least from an NACA perspective. 22-3 is the lead, and Fletcher's serve eventually gets returned. Good hustle from Gray, still not giving up. As that kill by Concepcion makes it now 23-3. And there's another ace, 24-3. Now the lead is Maddie Fletcher serving game point here. And little floater serve is an ace, and that will do it. 25-3 as set 2 goes to the Rock as well. They take both of them here in this matchup. And we'll have another one coming up for you here in just about a half hour. 11:30 will be our next matchup here as we broadcast this year's tournament. You've been watching the 2016 NACA National Championship Tournament.
And if you're tuning in for the Rock, I believe we're going to have them dialed back up.
Oh yeah, you
at
said 1:30. Yep,
so
1:30.
Tune back in, come back and join us. Thanks again for tuning in. See you shortly.
Yep.